Today we're reading 2nd Esdras 12 and 13. While the lion was saying these words to the eagle, I looked and saw that the remaining head had disappeared. The two wings that had gone over to it rose up and set themselves up to reign, and their reign was brief and full of tumult. When I looked again, they were already vanishing. The whole body of the eagle was burned, and the earth was exceedingly terrified. Then I woke up in a great perplexity of mind and great fear. And I said to my spirit, "You have brought this upon me because you searched out the ways of the Most High. I am still weary in mind and very weak in my spirit, and not even a little strength is left in me. Because of the great fear with which I have been terrified tonight, therefore I will now entreat the Most High that he may strengthen me to the end." Then I said, "O sovereign Lord, if I have found favor in your sight, and if I have been accounted righteous before you, beyond many others, and if my prayer has indeed come up before your face, strengthen me and show me, your servant, the interpretation and meaning of this terrifying vision, so that you may fully comfort my soul. For you have judged me worthy to be shown the end of the times, and the last events of the times." He said to me, "This is the interpretation of the vision that you have seen. The eagle that you saw coming up from the sea is the fourth kingdom that appeared in a vision to your brother Daniel. But it was not explained to him as I now explain to you, or have it explained. The days are coming when a kingdom shall rise on earth, and it shall be more terrifying than all the kingdoms that have been before it. And 12 kings shall reign in it, one after another. But the second that is to reign shall hold sway for a longer time than any other of the 12. This is the interpretation of the 12 wings that you saw. As for your hearing a voice that spoke, coming not from the eagle's heads, but from the midst of its body, that is the interpretation. In the midst of the time of that kingdom, great struggles shall arise, and it shall be in danger of falling. Nevertheless, it shall not fall then, but shall fall regardless of its former power. As for your seeing 8 little wings clinging to its wings, this is the interpretation. 8 kings shall arise in it, whose time shall be short, and their years swift. 2 of them shall perish when the middle of its time draws near, and 4 shall be kept for the time when its end approaches. But 2 shall be kept until the end. As for your seeing 3 heads at rest, this is the interpretation. In its last days the Most High will raise up 3 kings, and they shall renew many things in it, and shall rule the earth, and its inhabitants more oppressively than all who were before them. Therefore they are called the heads of the eagle, because it is they who shall sum up his wickedness and perform his last actions. As for your seeing the large head disappeared, one of the kings shall die in his bed, but in agonies. But as for the 2 who remained, the sword shall devour them. For the sword of one shall devour him who was with him, but he also shall fall by the sword in the last days. As for your seeing 2 little wings passing over to the head, which was on the right side, this is the interpretation. It is these whom the Most High has kept for the eagle's end. This was the reign which was brief and full of tumult, as you have seen. And as for the lion whom you saw rousing up out of the forest and roaring and speaking to the eagle and reproving him for his unrighteousness, and as for all his words that you have heard, this is the Messiah, whom the Most High has kept until the end of days, who will rise from the offspring of David, and will come and speak with them. He will denounce them for their ungodliness, for their wickedness, and will display before them their contemptuous dealings. For first he will bring them alive before his judgment seat, and when he has reproved them, then he will destroy them. But in mercy he will set free the remnant of my people, those who have been saved throughout my borders, and he will make them joyful until the end comes, the day of judgment, of which I spoke to you at the beginning. This is the dream that you saw, and this is the interpretation. And you alone are worthy to learn the secret of the Most High. Therefore, write all these things that you have seen in a book. Put it in a hidden place, and you shall teach them to the wise among your people, whose hearts you know are able to comprehend and keep these secrets. But as for you, wait here 7 days more, so that you may be shown whatever it pleases the Most High to show you. Then he left me. When all the people heard that the 7 days were past and I had not returned to the city, they all gathered together from the least to the greatest, and came to me and spoke to me, saying, How have we offended you, and what harm have we done you, that you have forsaken us and sit in this place? For of all the prophets you alone are left to us, like a cluster of grapes from the vintage, and like a lamp in a dark place, and like a haven for a ship saved from a storm. Are not the disasters that have befallen us enough? Therefore, if you forsake us, how much better would it would have been for us if we also had been consumed in the burning of Zion. For we are no better than those who died there. And they wept with a loud voice. Then I answered them and said, Take courage, O Israel, and do not be sorrowful, O house of Jacob. For the Most High has you in remembrance. The Mighty One has not forgotten you in your struggle. As for me, I have neither forsaken you nor withdrawn from you, but I have come to this place to pray on account of the desolation of Zion, and to seek mercy on account of the humiliation of our sanctuary. Now go to your homes, every one of you, and after these days I will come to you. So the people went into the city as I told them to do. But I sat in the field 7 days, as the angel had commanded me, and I ate only the flowers of the field, and my food was of plants during those days. After 7 days I dreamed a dream in the night, and lo, a wind arose from the sea and stirred up all its waves. As I kept looking, the wind made something like a figure of a man come up out of the heart of the sea. And I saw that this man flew with the clouds of heaven. And wherever he turned his face to look, everything under his gaze trembled. And wherever his voice issued from his mouth, all who heard his voice melted as wax melts when it feels the fire. After this I looked and saw that an innumerable multitude of people were gathered together from the 4 winds of heaven to make war against the man who came up out of the sea. And I looked and saw that he carved out for himself a great mountain and flew up on it. And I tried to see the region or place from which the mountain was carved, but I could not. After this I looked and saw that all who had gathered together against him to wage war with him were filled with fear, and yet dared to fight. When he saw the onrush of the approaching multitude, he neither lifted his hand nor held a spear or any weapon of war. But I saw only how he sent forth from his mouth something like a stream of fire, and from his lips a flaming breath, and from his tongue he shot forth a storm of sparks. All these were mingled together, the stream of fire and the flaming breath and the great storm, and fell on the onrushing multitude that was prepared to fight, and burned up all of them, so that suddenly nothing was seen of the innumerable multitude. but only the dust of ashes, the smell of smoke. When I saw it, I was amazed. After this, I saw the same man come down from the mountain and call to himself another multitude that was peaceable. Then many people came to him, some of whom were joyful and some sorrowful. Some of them were bound, and some were bringing others as offerings. Then I woke up in great terror and prayed to the Most High, and said, From the beginning you have shown your servant these wonders, and have deemed me worthy to have my prayer heard by you. Now show me the interpretation of this dream also. For I consider it in my mind, alas, for those who will be left in those days, and still more, alas, for those who are not left. For those who are not left will be sad, because they understand the things that are reserved for the last days, but cannot attain them. But alas for those also who are left, and for that very reason. For they shall see great dangers and much distress, as those dreams show. Yet it is better to come into these things through an incurring peril than to pass from the world like a cloud, and not to see what will happen in the last days. He answered me and said, I will tell you the interpretation of the vision, and I will also explain to you the things that you have mentioned. As for what you have said about those who survive, and concerning those who do not survive, this is the interpretation. The one who brings the peril at that time will protect those who fall into peril, who have works and faith toward the Almighty. Understand, therefore, that those who are left are more blessed than those who have died. This is the interpretation of the vision. As for your seeing a man come up from the heart of the sea, this is he whom the Most High has been keeping for many ages, who will himself deliver his creation, and he will direct those who are left. And as for your seeing wind and fire, and a storm coming out of his mouth, and as for his not holding a spear or weapon of war, yet destroying the onrushing multitude that came to conquer him, this is the interpretation. The days are coming when the Most High will deliver those who are on the earth, and bewilderment of mind shall come over those who inhabit the earth. They shall plan to make war against one another, city against city, place against place, people against people, and kingdom against kingdom. When these things take place, and the signs occur that I showed you before, then my Son will be revealed, whom you saw as a man coming up from the sea. Then, when all the nations hear his voice, all the nations shall leave their own lands, and the warfare that they have against one another, an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as you saw, wishing to come and conquer him. But he shall stand on the top of Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and be made manifest to all people, prepared and built as you saw the mountain carved out without hands. Then he, my Son, will reprove the assembled nations for their ungodliness. This was symbolized by the storm, and will reproach them to their face with their evil thoughts and the torments with which they are to be tortured, which were symbolized by the flames, and will destroy them without effort by means of the law, which was symbolized by the fire. And as for your seeing him gather to himself another multitude that was peaceable, these are the 9 tribes that were taken away from their own land into exile in the days of King Hoshea, whom Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, made captives. He took them across the river, and they were taken into another land. But they formed this plan for themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the nations and go to a more distant region, where no human beings had ever lived, so that there at least they might keep their statutes that they had not kept in their own land. And they went in by the narrow passage of the Euphrates River, for at that time the Most High performed signs for them, and stopped the channels of the river until they had crossed over. Through that region there was a long way to go, a journey of 1.5 years, and that country is called Azareth. Then they lived there until the last times. And now, when they are about to come again, the Most High will stop the channels of the river again, so that they may be able to cross over. Therefore you saw the multitude gathered together in peace. But those who are left of your people, who are found within my holy borders, shall be saved. Therefore, when he destroys the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he will defend the people who remain, and then he will show them very many wonders. I said, O sovereign Lord, explain this to me. Why did I see the man coming up from the heart of the sea? He said to me, just as no one can explore or know what is in the depths of the sea, so no one on earth can see my son or those who are with him, except in the time of his day. This is the interpretation of the dream that you saw, and you alone have been enlightened about this, because you have forsaken your own ways and have applied yourself to mine, and have searched out my law, for you have devoted your life to wisdom, and called understanding your mother. Therefore I have shown you these things, for there is a reward laid up with the Most High. For it will be that after 3 more days I will tell you other things, and explain weighty and wondrous matters to you. Then I got up and walked in the field, giving great glory and praise to the Most High for the wonders that he does from time to time, and because he governs the times, and whatever things come to pass in their seasons. And I stayed there 3 days. Revelation 13. I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, with 10 crowns on his horns, and blasphemous names on his head. The beast which I saw was like a leopard. His feet were like those of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, and his throne and great authority. I saw one of his heads as if it was mortally wounded, but his deadly wound was healed, and the whole world marveled and followed the beast. They worshipped the dragon who gave authority to the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like the beast? Who is able to wage war with him? He was given a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and he was given authority to wage war for 42 months. He opened his mouth to speak blasphemies against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and those who dwell in heaven. It was granted to him to wage war with the holy ones and to overcome them. And authority was given to him over every tribe and tongue and nation. All who dwell on the earth will worship him, all whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb, who was slain from the foundations of the world. If anyone has an ear, let him hear. He who is to be taken captive into captivity, he shall go. He who kills with the sword he must be killed. Here is a call for the patience and the faith of the holy people. Then I saw another beast rising out of the earth. He had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spoke like a dragon. He exercises all authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell on it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. He performs great signs, making fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. He deceives those who dwell on earth by the signs which he was granted to do in the presence of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast who was wounded by a sword and lived. He was allowed to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. He causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead, so that no one may buy or sell except he who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is a call for wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast. It is the number of a man. His number is 666. Psalm 12. Help, Lord, for the godly man comes to an end, for the faithful disappear from the sons of men. They speak empty words, each with his own neighbor. They speak with flattering lips and a double heart. The Lord will cut off all flattering lips and the tongue that speaks proud things. Who have said, with our tongue we will prevail. Our lips are in our control. Who is master over us? Because the poor are plundered, because the needy sigh, now I will arise, says the Lord. I will place him in safety for which he yearns. The words of the Lord are pure words. They are silver tried in an earthen furnace, refined 7 times. You will keep them, O Lord. You will continually preserve them from this generation. The wicked walk on every side, when the worthless of mankind are exalted. Proverbs 12. Whoever loves instruction loves knowledge, but he who hates reproof is brutish. A good man obtains the favor of the Lord, but a man of wicked devices will he condemn. A man will not be established by wickedness, but the root of righteousness will not be moved. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she who brings shame is a rottenness in his bones. The thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceit. The words of the wicked are lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright will deliver them. The wicked are overthrown and are not, but the house of the righteous will stand. A man will be commended according to his wisdom, but he who is of a perverse heart will be despised. He who is lightly esteemed and has a servant is better than he who honors himself and lacks bread. A righteous man regards the life of his animal, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. He who tills his land will be satisfied with bread, but he who follows vain persons is void of understanding. The wicked covet the plunder of evil men, but the root of the righteous yields fruit. The wicked is snared by the transgression of his lips, but the just will come out of trouble. A man will be satisfied with the good by the fruit of his mouth, and the recompense of a man's hands will be rendered to him. The way of the fool is right in his own eyes, but he who listens to counsel is wise. A fool's wrath is presently known, but a prudent man covers shame. He who speaks truth shows forth righteousness, but a false witness deceit. There is one who speaks like the piercings of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is health. The truthful lip will be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. Deceit is in the heart of those who imagine evil, but to the counselors of peace is joy. There will no evil happen to the just, but the wicked will be filled with mischief. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who deal truly are his delight. A prudent man conceals knowledge, but the heart of fools proclaim foolishness. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the slothful will be put to forced labor. Heaviness in the heart of a man makes it droop, but a good word makes it glad. The righteous is a guide to his neighbors, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. The slothful man does not roast that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious. In the way of righteousness is life, and in its pathway there is no death. Thus ends the reading for today. Never walk alone.